Yes.
All right. So this is what the lab looks like, right? So you should be able to access this from here. Draw website. Right. If you go to google.gl/draw website, it should actually bring you to this collab, and you should be able to access the collab. And what we are going to do today is going to create a UI like this. And then when you have, let's say, a wireframe that you want to upload, and then you can actually convert that wireframe into an actual website that you can, continue working on it, or you can actually choose to implement your own code and things like that, right? So thank you, Abby, for actually helping me to, draft out all these details. And I was on leave, and then she was actually helping me with all these things. Like, thank you, Abby. And also, this is how the app flow gonna work, right? So you have to upload a hand-drawn wireframe, and then after that, you have to select a model, or whether you want a Flash or like a Pro or like 1.0, 1.5, and things like that. After that, you have to provide a prompt. So I leave the prompt kind of open. So it's up to your imagination and proficiency to change the prompt that you want, right? So I have seen some creative people try to do various things, like for example, right? Instead of just saying HTML page, you can actually say HTML5 and CSS3 or something like that, right? And if you want to be creative, you can also put in things like, oh, please use Tailwind CSS. Please write your code in React.js or Node.js or things like that, right? It is really up to your creativity and how you want the model to actually help you generate. And of course, if you are doing things like, React.js or like Node.js or Tailwind, you have to link or compile those things yourself, right? Like, because Gemini doesn't really compile things for you, it just gives you the output, and which should work if you connect up the backend APIs and other things. Right after that, of course, we will display the results, and then you will see like the website come to life. Okay, and I also want to kind of like show some of the things that we can do with that. And if you are, let's say, copying someone else's website, sometimes the Gemini will try to detect it and then say, hey, you're actually copying, so we'll block the response. So you can either don't copy other people's website, and you can also try to like reduce down the selfie filter of this model, so that at least you are getting some kind of code from a screenshot or something, right? Of course, it's not going to copy the entire functionality, right? It just copy the UI. So let's get started. And before you begin, right, you should at least have a console. You go to console, and then you should at least have a project ready. And your project should be linked to all the billing account. So Abby actually went through the billing account linking and creating and things like that. So after that, what you need to do is you need to click on the Cloud Shell button. So when you click Cloud Shell button, you will actually see a Cloud Shell open up right at the bottom of your page. Right after you have clicked this, you should see the Cloud Shell open up. Then you try to type in this gcloud command, like authentication list, to see whether your the project that you are using is the same account that you actually redeem the credits and so on. After you have verified your authentication list is your email, right? You can see the star that is selected there, and you can do this config lit projects to see what kind of projects. Maybe someone actually write down they have 14 projects, right? So you have to make sure the projects that you are using is a project that you have to use for this lab, right? So if you are seeing the project that is selected is not the lab that you want to choose, or not the project that you want to choose, you can actually do gcloud config set project, and then your project ID of whichever project you want to use, right? So if you do the list project, you should see the IDs coming up, so you can actually pick and choose which one you want, right? If not, you can actually go to the project page and then go and see how to get it done to choose the project ID, right? It's not very important, but if you want to do it later, it's also okay. I will actually show you how to do that later as well, right? So this is kind of like a setup thing. The next part is to bootstrap the Python Cloud Runs application, right? So I mean, if you are challenging enough, you can actually write all this Flask code and things yourself. But to kind of save time and because we only have like a little bit of time, so we will actually bootstrap some of the code, right? And Google Cloud easily provides some of the template that you can use to actually download the sample or template code for Cloud Runs with Python, right? So the next step that we need to do is to click on the Open Editor. So once you click on the Open Editor, right, it will actually switch the view, right? So currently you're probably opening like CMD, the Cloud Share console. But if you once you click Open Editor, it will switch to the editor view, right? It looks something like Visual Studio Code that you will see, right? So once you click that, and then depends on whether you already set up your account, you already choose your project, right? You might see something very different on the bottom left, right? So if your bottom left is saying like Cloud Code sign in, right, you should be able to click and then authorized, and it will sign in you because you see like this is actually floating on top of the Cloud Console, right? So it consider kind of like a different entity. Even though I'm choosing, let's say, GenAI Workshop project in my background task, the foreground task is kind of like different. So you need to choose again. So if you click on the Cloud Code sign in, or you might see your project being selected already, right? If you're already selected and let's say you want to change the same thing, click on it and then you will see an option to like switch project, right? So if you are seeing sign in first, right? So if you click on this and then you will see the Cloud Console shell, click on authorized, and it will actually sign you in and then choose the project for you, right?
Thu Ya,
Yeah.
let me, sorry to interrupt. I was just
Mm,
saying, I know you're trying to go through all the steps and then go through one by one in the demo. But because of time, could we just do it as we are saying, as we are in that particular step, so that everyone can follow, and then we'll pause after each step and ask if most of them are
ah,
done. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I think some people
you
say
can start
I'm going
from
fast.
the auth part.
Yeah. So let me maybe. Do you want me to run this
Yeah, step by
quickly,
step, we'll go
step
through
by step,
the.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
Let's
yeah,
go to the Cloud
mhm.
Shell editor. Just open your console and then
Yeah.
go to Cloud Shell editor, and then we'll show.
Okay, let's do that. So everyone, go to this Google Cloud Console and click on the Cloud Share button. Okay. So if you click on the Cloud Share button, and you can actually see this share coming out, right? And if you see this, click on Open Editor. Okay. So I will wait maybe 1-2 seconds for everyone to click. So thumbs up if you already clicked that Open Editor button. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then it might take some time, right? There will be circular things that is spinning or like checking some of the boxes. Is it connecting? Yeah. Sometimes it take a while for some account because you probably haven't used in a while, or maybe you use up the quota and then it's kind of like procuring new ones and things like that. So the next steps, yeah, is it connecting for some people? If you take the connection is like the connecting is so long, it might be the internet connection. So try to switch around and see any better connection that you can find. Maybe going closer to like your routers and things, right? So anyone not yet done, right? Stay connecting. Pin in the chat. I think everyone's done. All right. Okay. So if you done already, you can go to, you can scroll it down, right? And there should be this, either it will show either a project or Cloud Code sign in, right? If you see Cloud Code sign in, just click on it, and then it will prompt you to either authorized, or it will show this page, right? So whichever, just click on this button, top button down. So button down, there should be the cloud icon and some text written, right? It could be your project name, it could be the Cloud Code sign in. So click on that, and let me know if you have already clicked it and did something. Yes, so some people had think it. You're not able to sign the sign in option. So if you don't find the sign in option, that's okay. You probably chose the project already. Okay, and some people down. So let me see. If you don't see, so do you see this cloud code screen coming up from your? Okay, let me see. It say cloud code no project. Okay, no, never mind. So when you click this, and you should be able to see this cloud code, right? And you see this switch project or like select project on the bottom part, right? So what I mean is, let me just zoom in a little so that you can see better. You see on here, switch project area, like after the deploy to cloud run, right? There's a switch project, right? If you are seeing select a project or any other things, click on that, right? So if you see there's nothing, so you haven't chosen a project, the switch project area should say select a project instead. So click on that, and then you will ask to choose a project. Okay, if you already chosen it, you will see switch a project. And if you're already using the project that you're supposed to be using, you don't need to do anything. Okay, only whoever have not selected a project or choose a round project, you need to click on either the switch project or there's a select project button, right? Okay, so thumbs up if you already seeing this screen and you are seeing everything. All right, okay, nice. All right, anyone not being able to see, struggling, thumbs down somewhere. There's no thumbs down coming up. Okay. Oh, there's some people. All right. Can you pin on what's going on? Can you check on the chat and see what's happening? Want to set up as the project ID. So do you create a project already? Let me show you the example, right? So let's see. So this is my project, right? So this is the cloud console, right? If you go to Google Cloud Console, then this is the console, right? If you click on it, right, there should be some projects that you already chose. There's some project that you created, right? If you do not have anything, right, you can click on new project, and then you can choose your project name, blah, blah, blah. And then you click create, and it will create the project. And then you have to choose the project from this panel, right? So if you click here, you can choose, right? So if you do that, then you should be able to see the project. Yeah, so if you like, the button that I mean is if you click on the cloud share, right? And if you click open editor, and it will start connecting, right? And the buttons for the cloud icon, it should be appearing here, right? You see, there is this cloud code and sign in, right? So this is the one. If you click on it, it will actually open up something. So if you click on it, and there you go. If you click on it, it will open up this, right? So you might see switch project, you might see select a project. Just click on it if you have not chosen a project, or if you want to choose a different project, right? So let's say I don't want to use Thu Ya Playground, I can click on it and I can switch the project, right? So choose the one that you want to do and choose the one that has a billing account, right? Okay, so I can actually choose to, let's say I want to do next demo. It will just actually change to next demo, something like that. Right. So I hope everyone is following and being able to do this step already. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue because we don't have much time to do. Right. So if you are seeing this screen, you have to click on new application. Right. If you do not see this screen, you have to click on this cloud icon and the project name place. Right. So the number one here that you see, if you click on it, and you should be able to see this thing come out, right? It takes maybe 1 or 2 seconds depending on your internet connection, right? If you click on it, you will see this. You click on new application. So if after you click new application, you will see these options, right? So these options is actually ask you to choose what type of application and so on, we will be choosing Cloud Run application, right? So if you click on Cloud Run application, and you will appear this second page. So this second page, you just choose Python Flask Cloud Run, right? So there are 3 options to choose, right? So 3 steps. Click on this, choose new application. You will see this one, choose Cloud Run. You will see this one, choose Python Flask Cloud Run. Okay. If everyone's okay, thumbs up. There's no cloud icon. There should be a cloud icon. You can see, right? The cloud icon looks like this, right? You see there's a cloud icon here, right? Like on the bottom, right? You can see my arrow, my cursor. It's a small one, so you might have missed it, but it's here, right? There should be something here. If you are not seeing it totally, it might be that the internet is slow a little bit. So you can't see it, and it's like stay loading and things, right? But you should be able to see this, right? Okay, so everyone reached to this step already. After you click the Cloud One, it will ask you to change the name, right? So what you want to name it, you can name it anything you want. You can just name like Draw a Website or Amazing Gemini app, or whichever you want to name it. But remember the name, right? You just name it and then you forget it. It's not good. You name it and then you remember it, right? So after you name this, click OK. Okay, then you should able to see this screen, right? So let me know if you are able to see this. Thumbs up, and I should be able to continue. Yep. So yeah, so thank you so much. And there's some steps. Anyone not being able to finish, right? I'm lost. Thu Ya speaking too fast. Thumbs down, thumbs down. All good. Okay. Yeah, we are almost there. Yeah. I think someone's having trouble with the project. It may be that you created a project and maybe you didn't successfully create a project, because there might be some error with creating the project, right? You can actually go to introduction and then take a look at how to create a project. Yeah. If you go to introduction, there's a steps where it asks you to how to create. I think it's second one. It will ask you to create a project here, right? So you can go to the second step and then go and create the project, and then you can follow along. Okay. All right, so the first steps, we are at step 4. I mean, step 2, the step 4 of the code lab, but it's the step 2. We will be creating the HTML page, right? So forget about the CSS for a while, and let's do this, right? So in a body, we have a div, there's a container, and then it has the h2, the header, and the form. So take a look at the form, right? So the form has action, and action is actually going to submit to the response page, right? And I put target blanks so that it's actually open up the new page, right? And the method is post. So there are 2 types of methods, get and post. So post will actually, just use whatever you provide, and it's stored in the cookies and then sent over, right? And we actually need to put in this thing called encryption type, and we are actually sending multiple part form data. Anyone know why we are doing this? You can write in the comment. No price, no price to give out. But if you know it, you can type it, and I'll probably say, thank you for typing it. Okay, calling once, calling twice. Okay, I'll explain to you why, right? Okay, so when you submit the form, in a normal form, you are only sending maybe text, right? Like option value, type some things and so on. But because this is a wireframe, right? You actually draw something, take a pictures, and you have the picture, right? So you will be sending an image, okay? So image is actually quite big, right? Usually it's like 10 megabytes, 100 megabytes. So what the front end do is that they will actually send multiple parts instead. Yeah, it's for images. Thank you. Yeah. So it was sent in multiple parts. But when you are submitting, right, the backend should know that the data are coming in multiple parts. So this is where you need to put the encryption type, so that the receiver and the sender, they all know that is a media type that allowed to, yeah, exactly. It's actually trying to tell like, hey, this data is not one time. It's gonna be multiple parts, and because it's an image, and then it's gonna be different type of data that are coming in, and so on, right? So that's why we do that. Okay, so the next step we have of course we have input files, right? So the name of the thing is called image upload, and then we are only accepting PNG, JPEG, and other things, right? So there's no more there's no other things like what is it called, GIF and all this, because this is only work for image, and currently Gemini only works with PNG and JPEG. Right, it's a type thing, so we will be converting it anyway, right? So it's kind of like limited is better for the form, right? After that, we have the model. So the model currently we are choosing 1.5 Flash, 1.5 Pro, and then 1.0 Pro Vision, right? So you can actually choose different model and see how the results different from each other. So that's actually good to kind of compare the models and all that. Right, after that, of course, we have the text area. Right, so text area is where you write your prompt, right? So actually put some placeholder and also put in some value, okay? And after that, we have the submit button, right? So that's all it is, right? This whole thing, it's just creating a form that has an image input, a selector, and then the text area and a button, right? So it's basically what we are doing is to create the front end. And of course, all this CSS is just you trying to like centerize it, create some color, create some shadow, and then make text area nicer and so on, right? So once you already have everything, right, you need to go to template folder, okay? And template folder, then you create, you go to the template folder index.html, and then you just copy this, then you just put it in, right? So I'm going to demonstrate this to you, right? I'm going to create a new project here. New application, Cloud Runs, Python Flask, and I'm gonna say draw a website, right? So it will actually start creating the template and so on. Then you should be able to see the draw website here, right? So what I mean is go to this template. So let me zoom in so that you can see the templates here, right? So go to templates, there's an index.html, right? So index.html. Right, so you don't need this one. You just delete this, okay? So yours is empty, and then you just have to copy this, right? So copy this and place it here, okay? So this is where all the code and everything is residing, right? So this is the front end part, right? That's it. That's all we need. We don't need anything else, right? So after that, we are done with the step. And it's actually try to explain, what's the things and all this, but we are kind of done already, right? So if you want to test, right, whether this is working or not, you can actually go, or maybe you can right click on this app.py and then try to run it on terminal, right? So if you right click on app.py here and you choose run Python file in terminal, and you should start running this. And if you click on this, it should actually show you this, right? Which is really nice. You can see all this. You can type anything, right? But when you click submit, nothing gonna happen, right? Because there's no backend, right? But if you are able to do this, thumbs up, right? In the chat. If you are not able to do this, thumbs down, and write what's going on in the chat so that we can actually help you to resolve it, right? If you're seeing this, so good. And if you want to, you can actually change the front end as you like. So folks who are showing thumbs down, can you type what's wrong with the error or anything? Yeah, so I will repeat the step again, okay? So I will close this one, right? So I'm just gonna close this as well. Okay, I'm gonna stop this as well and close this, right? So you already created this project, correct? Okay, so the next step is to go to template, right? And then you click on index.html, delete everything from the index.html, okay? And then you come here, you copy this. Okay, you click on this button, say copy code sample, copy this, and then you put it inside here, okay? So after you have seen, you can double check whether you have like draw a website in the titles and all this, right? So you should be able to see the code. It should be exactly the same, right? So after that, you come here on the left side, you see the app.py, okay, app.py, right? Right click and choose run Python file in terminal. Okay, click this, it will run here, right? Then after that, you just have to control click or command click, right? So click on this, it will open up this one. Right, you can also copy this, okay, copy and then put it here, right? It might not work because this is not this one maybe, okay. It will ask me login. But if you click on it, control click, it should actually works, right? So you should just control click. So if you hover, there's nothing. But if you press control, right, the cursor will change into a human hand. You see, it was actually like selector, then this, right? Then you click, then you will show this. Okay. Oh, good. Terminal is not opening. There's no terminal. Oh, you mean the terminal is not opening? Run in terminal, like here. You click run in terminal. It might take a while. It maybe because you have your connection is like maybe a little bit slower, things like that. But in case, okay, in case, if you are not able to right click, run Python file in terminal, okay, you are not able to do this. There's also another way, right? You can, let me just close this, okay? You can come here on the hamburger menu. You see, Explorer hamburger menu on the left side, here, click, and then there's a terminal. You can say new terminal. So see, you open up the terminal, and then you can, of course, find the list of directory by ls. You should be able to see the app.py, right? Very simple. Say Python app.py. Then it will run the thing also, right? So the right click method is easier because it's just one step. But if you want to find a challenge yourself, you can actually do all this, right? You can go and open terminal yourself, find the file, run the file, right? And yeah, it should all works. It's the same, right? Whether you run it from the right-click terminal or the terminal itself, find the file, run it. It's up to you, okay?
So
All
yeah,
right.
the step for requirements.txt, some of them are missing the module vertex AI. So
Oh, wait.
requirements.
So we haven't go through the back end yet. So this is only front end. So if you already step all the way, then wait for a while. Okay, we will get there in like 5 minutes. Okay. Yes. So this is only front end, right? So we just did this front end. Okay, build the front end. You already have the front end. Okay. So now if you click this, of course nothing happened, right? Because there's no back end. You need to communicate somehow, right? So now we're gonna do the backend. So I'm gonna stop this server for a while, and then where the backend gonna locate is the app.py, right? So if you click on the step number 3, it say, hey, you have to go and change the app.py, right? So it's very simple. The same way, you just select everything, delete it, and then you copy this code. Okay, you pass it over here. Okay, so you have all the code that you need to link the front end and the back end. Okay, so one thing that we need to take note is that you see there's a to-do step, right? It's to do for you. So you need to replace your Python project, your project ID from your terminal, right? So where do you get this project ID? Very simple. You click on this drop down button, and then you will see the ID here. So I'm just gonna copy my ID. And of course, the ID is gonna be different for you, whichever one you want to use, and you copy that, okay? So repeat again, you need to put in your project ID in this line number 23, okay? So you just go here, find the project that you are choosing, right? Copy the ID. So your ID might has, like 00 or whatever numbers at the back, if not unique, right? You copy, then you put it down here, okay? That's the to-do that we need to do, right? The rest is just copy and paste, right? So the code itself, right, you actually have an explanation of if you are going to the index, which is like the website itself, it will just render the index.html, right, which is the one that we just did. But in case you are submitting the form, right, and it will actually going to put it to the response, and it will actually handle it, right? How are you going to handle it? We have the upload image, right? And then we will actually use the upload image. We convert into the Python file, right? We're actually going to convert this into Vertex AI image object, right? So because we are using Gemini at the Vertex AI, so we need to convert the format that is set, right? So that's why we are doing image dot from byte, okay? So after that, we have the wireframe, we have the model from the form that you choose, we have the prompt, and so on, right? Then we will be doing generate function. So generate function is just calling the Gemini endpoint, right? So we will have a model that pass in the generative model field from Vertex AI generative model library, right? So we import this, we create the content. Content is just wireframe and the prompt, okay? And then we just generate the response, right? And we consolidate the responses, concatenate the responses, just return the response. Right, in this response is basically the response HTML, right? So we here get the HTML, and of course I don't need the decorator, so I'm replacing the decorator here, and then I'm replacing the end decorator, right? So after I replace all this thing, I make sure there's no more white space at the back and the front, so I do stripped, right? Then after that, I just return the responses if there's no error, right? So that's what I do, and the rest are just the same, right? Running the app, hosting the app, and so on. Okay, so after you have done this, your system should be working, right? So let me do that again. So the next step, someone mentioned about, hey, I can't really seem to find the I'm saying the complaining about not having the Vertex AI libraries and all sort of things. Of course, we are importing a few things like Flask is built in because we already have the requirement in the requirement we have the Flask, right? So Flask is kind of like built in when you're coming here, but we actually imported Vertex AI and all, but we haven't installed it yet, right? We need to install the Vertex AI. So how do you install the Vertex AI? You can actually go back, right? So of course you can find Vertex AI, right? You can say Vertex AI, PyP or something, right? Then it will actually give you Vertex AI PyP or Cloud AI platform, right? So all we have to do, just copy this, right? Copy this, and then we put it together with our requirement.txt. That's it. That's all we need to do, right? So here, right, after you paste Google Cloud AI platform, so I'm going to repeat again. You click on requirement.txt, right, and you should see this, right? There's nothing here, and you just say Google Cloud AI platform on the line 4. After you put it, there should be a button coming up here, say create environment, right? So this is for you to run locally, right? If you are deploying on Cloud Run, you don't need to do this step. But if you want to test locally, you need to create a new Python environment, right? It's built-in one, doesn't involve this Google Cloud AI platform. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click create Python environment. I'm going to choose the VNV, right? And then I'm going to choose this Python version of 3.10. And I'm going to choose the requirement.txt, which is this one, to be able to create a local environment. This is only if you want to run local, right? If you are deploying it, you don't need it, okay? It's going to take a few minutes to just, get started. So far, everyone following, thumbs up if you're following and you are creating the environment and all that. Thumbs down if you're lost, don't know what's going on. I'm going too fast. No? Okay, all good. Right. Yeah, some people are thumbs down. So if you thumbs down, let me know what's going on so that I can please repeat again the Python extension. Yeah, okay, so let's see, right? I'm gonna close all these things so that you are not confused. Okay, I'm gonna do this also, right? So here you have requirement.txt, right? Click on it, you will see 3 lines, right? And the line number 4, you need to put Google Cloud AI platform, because the AI platform is where you get the information, the packages from the Vertex AI and all the other AI, right? So you have to put Google Cloud AI platform as a requirement, because we require this to run our code, right? So you do that. And then if you do this, there should be a button pop up, say create environment. Click on it, choose the first option, right? First option VNV, first option the Python 3.10. Then it will say, okay, you are creating, and then you should be able to use the new environment locally, right? So far so good. I hope I repeated it. I don't see template folder. It's not displaying Python. It shouldn't be. If you click create environment, it should say Python somehow, right? It should say VNV first. Choose that VENV, like VNV here, VNV. Then you should be able to choose Python. Yeah, Python 10, anything. Just choose the first option. If you currently, I don't have the environment anymore. The environment should appear somewhere on the right button, right? So after you paste it, it should appear here on the right side. Okay. If you can't do this, it's okay. The next step, what do we have to, after you paste this, the line, there should be a button coming up. Click on it and then choose VNV and then the Python version. It will take a while for you to load up, right? For those who already created and is done, you can try clicking on this and then run again. And so currently, if you are seeing this, right, like for example, there's nothing, there's no VNV in front. Stop. You need to maybe delete these instances, right? So I repeat again, right click, run. There you, if you see this VNV, you are using the new environment, okay? If you are not seeing this VNV, you just delete this, okay? Delete this and then run one more time. If you see this in front of your name, right, then you're good. So if I'm going to go here, this is my website, is working, right? I have to choose a drawing, thing. So I'm gonna choose one of the things that I have. Let me see, download is here. So I'm not sure whether you guys can see this. Let me go and show how it looks like. Let me copy the link. Copy link. Get info. Do that. It's here, right? So you guys see this? This is what it looks like. I have the drawing that I'm going to convert into a website, right? You can find website yourself or draw it yourself, things like that. Then I choose, and if I click submit, it's gonna take a while, but here it's gonna pop up and say ask me to authorize it. Let's see, it's running. It should actually come up and authorized for me. There you go. You see, this is the input, this is the output, right? You notice the color. So I have a red, purple, black, blue, red, purple, black, blue, something like that. All right. So it's auto take into the color and all this, and you can see these are the button, and this is like the names, everything. And this particular piece is actually not considered because it's reflected, right? It's reflected. It's like it doesn't make really sense or things like that, right? So it's not perfect, but you can see this particular website is being drawn out. Okay. You just choose Python 3. Choose Python 3. Okay. All right. So this is the step. It's showing activating extension. It just disappeared. Which step? So let me see. Okay. So far, right? Is everyone able to activate the environment, the VNV, and then able to run the notebook? I'm able to run the code. And then you should be able to see this and then choose a file that you want to download, and then you want to try it. Right. So if you are seeing, like, for example, internet server errors, things like that, right? It means you can actually monitor this from here. So after you have done, you come here, right? If you see this, oh, some error, right? You come here and you see the terminal and see there might be some error, and you read what's happened, right? It might be the suspect is that one, is because of the safety filter, then you are not able to run it. Maybe your screenshot is too real and things like that. So try to do something is your own, right? And try it. And if you keep getting the internet server error, you just stopped, right? So let me see, like just stop, Control C, stop, and then you rerun one more time, right? And then you will have a new instance. So click on this and then try again, right? So this is the input that I'm using, and this was the output, right? So if you are not able to do it locally, you have some errors and all that. So one of the problem is the safety filter sometimes, because doesn't want people to actually copy someone else's website, right? And make sure you replace this thing, the RBC. Thank you, RB. So there's a to do, right? I just told you just now, you have to change this part, right? So initially it was this, right? And you have to replace with your ID, your project ID, right? So how do you get a project ID? Again, coming here and then click on the ID, right? Then you will get the project ID. Okay, so this part is only required. So whatever we go through, only required if you want to run it locally, right? So if you are not seeing this V and V, just delete, right? Make sure cannot just say cross, okay? Must click on delete, okay? So you have to delete and then right click, run Python file in terminal, and it should automatically invoke the environment that you just created, okay? Nothing to do. But of course, if you want challenges, right? Yeah, sure, I can show you what's how to activate it manually, right? So remember, if you want to activate manually, where do you go? You go to hamburger menu, terminal, new terminal, right? It's already activated. Let me just deactivate it. Yeah, no, deactivate. Yeah, okay. So see, I don't have any activation anymore. So how do I activate, right? So check whether you have any .vam. So .vam is actually in this folder, right? So LSLA, you will see a .vam here, right? Okay, so what you need to do is you need to type source, .vam bin activate. This is only for people who are adventurous, okay? Not everyone need to do this. I'm just showing how to manually activate and then manually running this, right? So it's the same. You can do this also by yourself, right? So, but the easiest way, what do? You come here, run. Everything that I just did it for you. Done, right? So straightforward. Yep. Okay, so right. All right. You probably need to enable some of the API as well. Yes. So there is a requirement for you to enable it. Like before you begin, they ask you to enable Cloud Run and Vertex AI, right? So you can do that. Okay, so now we have built the backend. I'm going to continue because we don't have much time left, right? So after that, you have the dependency, right? So remember, we just put in a Google Cloud Platform, okay? So now we are good. And I mean, thumbs up if you are able to convert something with your local version. Thumbs up. All right. A few people. Okay, nice. So asking image URL. Cloud Run API, you just go to, let's see. So how to enable all these APIs? You just say APIs on the search bar, right? So here, search bar, APIs, and there is a API and services, right? Enable API and services. Click on that, and then it will actually show you this enable API services. Click on API services, and you will see, oh, what do you want to enable, right? So currently, let me just put this down a little bit so you can see this. If I search, let's say Vertex AI, right? And it will actually show me Vertex AI API, right? So of course, I already enabled it right here. If you have not enabled it, you will see enable here instead of manage, right? The same thing for Cloud Run, right? So just say Cloud Run admin API, right? Then of course your Cloud Run admin API, and then just like click enable, right? That's all, right? It's very simple. Okay, so now since we are almost time, right? Let's go ahead to deploy it, right? So we already tested our code in local environments. Everything is working well. So what do we need to do to make this deployable? Okay. So we are going to use something called a Docker, right? So Docker is like a container service where you will copy all the code and then put into a package. We will submit this to Cloud Run, right? And then Cloud Run will take the Docker, run our app in locally in a production environment. And of course, this is not like actually production, because you need to do a lot more things, like adding in Gunicon, or like disabling. This is actually, you see, it's even have a warning. This is a development server. Please do not use it in the production and so on, right? So you have to use like WGI and other things to actually serve, right? So that's why I say you need to use Gunicon and other things, but we're not going to cover this today. So what we're going to do or aim to do today is to deploy all this version that we have into Cloud Run, and then we can call it a day. Okay, so far so good, everyone. Okay, click thumbs up if everyone okay. All right, some people are go ahead and deploy everything. Good on you, right? We're gonna do that, right? So the next step for us is to deploy our app, right? So if you click on Docker file, right? So this is the Docker file, right? The first step is they have to choose the image, right? We are using Python. They choose a Python image. You have set the working directory, and then they copy the requirement. Remember, requirement, we need to create an environment, right? So from the requirement, it will install the environments and everything. After that, it will actually copy all the things that we have, right? And we will actually run it, right? It's the same way that I run it. It's a Python app.py. It will just run the whole thing, and then it serves as the API, right? So here you notice is using the LPy version, right? So LPy version is a small version of image, and currently the Google Cloud API, the platform, remember we added this line. This one doesn't work with LPy at the moment, right? So we need to change this LPy to slim. Okay, just type slim at the back. Just replace, so it was LPy. We just change to slim, right? You can also find this code in here, right? You see, it's slim, right? You can choose 10, 12, whatever, it will work. It doesn't matter, right? So you can see the Docker file here, but if you want to, you can just type slim, and it will just work, right? So after this one, what we can do is we can use the code that Abby written, like it's here, like cd into the folder, and then Cloud Runs run deploy source, and don't forget the current directory, right? But if you don't want to type the commands, I will show you the easier way. Okay, so make sure you change this to slim, and then you click on this thing called a cloud code. Okay, if you click on this cloud code, it should show you all the services that we have. Okay, I repeat again, click on this button called cloud code, and sometimes if you don't see this, click on this triple dot, and then you should be able to see cloud code somewhere. Okay, if you're not seeing this cloud code, this one here, you just click on this, you will see here, right? But if you see this, click on this, right, it will actually show you all these functions, right? And after that, you can click on the Cloud Run, right? And Cloud Run will actually choose the project and all sort of things at the back end, right? Because we already wrote the Docker files and other things, it should show up as an entry to deploy to Cloud Run. Okay, this is another way. I would call this easy way. You see, it's actually show this and no Cloud Run service form and things like that. What we can do is we can actually deploy this, right? So if you click on this cloud deploy function, right, it will actually try to verify, fetching this and so on. And it will actually start noticing that, oh, I haven't really created any services. So it's a create a service, and the service name is draw a website, right? And then where is it coming from? It's actually coming from this. And then where's the Docker and the Docker file and so on, right? So, yep. After that, all you have to do, click deploy, and it will start building, deploying, magic's happening at the back end, right? So I repeat the step again. You click on the Cloud Console, Cloud Code. You click on the Cloud Run, and then you should be able to see this, cloud with the arrow, right? Deploy to Cloud Run. Click on the Cloud Runs. It will start detecting your service, right? Make sure you checked, right? The service name, draw a website, and all sort of things. And then you just click deploy, and it will start deploying, building it, deploying it, and so on. And once it's done, it will give you the public URL, right? So public URL meaning you can share this to your friend, show it to your teacher, show it to your students, whichever, right? You can do that. But make sure you don't just post it on social media, right? And then people start using it, your $5 will be gone. Okay, so just to mindful who you share this with, and of course you can take it down after that or delete the project and like try again yourself. You want to make it public, you can do that. You want to make it private, you also can do that. Right, so these are all the steps we need to actually start deploying. So this is where the deploying steps, right? So if you want to deploy it from the terminal, these are the steps. If you want to deploy it from the console itself, this is what you would do, right? So you just come here, click this, click on deploy to Cloud Run, and start building it. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. CK terminal run new terminal. All right. Okay. So it's still building. Anyone being able to successfully run, build it, and deploy it already? Thumbs up, please. So a few people. Okay, 3 or 4 people building. Right, so how to see the code for generated response? Very simple, very simple. I show you. So this is this is the, you see, I can't even choose which one is the correct one anymore because it so look alike. Okay, just
yeah, just a second. Can you show the hand drawing so people can take a screenshot and maybe upload
sure. You can try this. Let me see if I can.
Just zoom in a little bit and then take a screenshot of that so you can use it to test your application.
Yeah, I can just share this. Let me see if I can make this into a public link and people can download it. Yeah, let me try that. Okay. Storage. All right, anyone able to finish the deployment already? Do you see? See, mine is completed. So if I click on this, it will show my website, right? Of course, if I zoom in, it should show the same thing. Thumbs up if you're able to finish deploy, everything's all working. Someone say I'm not getting option for image upload. Which one? Like this one? This one? You click and nothing happened? That it?
Common issues that people have been asking on chat. I'm
Mm,
just consolidating so you're able to, I mean, folks who are
mm,
facing the same issue can fix it. One is API not being enabled. So make sure you go back to step the prerequisites step in CodeLab, which is a second step or something. Just make sure you copy the enable API link and make sure you enable APIs from Cloud Shell Terminal or from Cloud Shell, sorry, or Google Cloud Console, the one that Tuya showed, right? You can do it in either way. Second issue that I see that is some of you have not updated your project ID in the vertex ai.init step. So make sure you update that as well in the app.py code. Another issue, I saw that you're stuck on the part where you have to test it locally. Don't worry about it. If all the other steps are complete and you've updated everything that needs to be updated, if your requirements.txt is up to date for the project, then go ahead and do the cloud run deployment directly and test it there. Don't get hung up on the local testing step. Go on to you. Sorry.
yep, yep. No problem, no problem. So let me go and see whether I can make this public and share the link. Edit access. Oh, let me see. Probably need to do this from here. Public, public. Not public. Not public. Uniform. Right. Need to find out how to make this public. So far, everyone deploying okay or good? And you fail to build the app, getting the error. So Slim. So who typed it? Krishna. Your Slim is with the N. It should be with the M. M. Okay, like M. Like it should be Slim. Slim. Yeah. Public from the inside the edit set where you just went. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. It's it should actually give me. So the thing is, like we have to edit access. See, I don't have access to make it public. It's not public, right? Let me try to make it from here. They should have a. Actually, there's a folder, right? Edit access is create manage folder. Okay. Oh, I think actually I had to do this. Right? If I say public, can I do that?
Try all users.
Oh, right. All users. Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So I just say viewer, save. Yes, allow public access. There you go. Then you should be able to, let's see, copy this one, right? If I'm going incognito and not this one.
You should copy the other URL to, yeah,
Yeah,
not the GS
not
util.
the GS, yes, copy authenticated URL.
No, not even the authenticated one. Just click that object link. It's not showing you the public image.
This one, right?
Public URL, it's still not applicable. You have to refresh the.
See, no, somehow it's a fine grain. I maybe need to do. Why? I already put the edit, right? Create subfolder, edit access, and then I put all user already at principal. Currently used is viewer, right? And all users. Save. Allowed. It's already exist. Maybe I need to do from here. Let's see. Protection, permission, not preventing, right? All the services, viewer of the project, all the project viewers, everybody. Anyway, just try to put in all users view. Oh, reader, owner, reader. Read, update, delete. No, I don't want view object, right? That's right. Save. Okay. So it's public the internet, right? Okay. Let's refresh and see. It's public the internet, so it should all good. Yeah, there you go. Gonna put it here. Okay, so I'm going to show the deployment one more time. So you can download the image from the link that I just sent. Okay, so forget about this, and we do this. All right. So okay, we'll close this, come back here. Right. So this is where we were. Right. The first step that you need to do is to make sure your Docker file is changed from Alpine to Slim, right? With the M, right? Okay, not N, okay, it's M. So you put Slim, like slim fat kind, okay? You put Slim, and then you click on this Cloud Code button, right? So to the left side, you have this Cloud Code button. It looks like this, okay? So if you click this, and you will see this, right there, the Cloud Code, right? If you don't see Cloud Code on the left side, you click on the triple dot, and then you will see Cloud Code somewhere here, right? If you click on this, and then you click Cloud Run. So from here, Cloud Run, you should see slightly different. Don't worry. Just have to find your project, okay? Your project, and click on this one. Right? You see this button, the cloud with the arrow going up. You click this, and it will start this page, deploy to Cloud Run, right? So from here, you can see, so this is actually, if you are deploying for the first time, you will see a create service, and then service name, all this thing. You don't have to care too much. You just have to click deploy, and it will start deploying, right? If you already deploy it, you want to update something, choose the existing one, okay? And then you deploy one more time. It will actually create a multiple version here, right? That's only if you want to update and run again and so on, right? So after you run it already, right? I'm already using, having this one, right? I can actually see the logs and everything. You can see from here what's going on, who accessed my link and other things, right? Yeah, there you go. So it's a URL, getting successful and all sort of things, okay? And remember, this is not for production, okay? So don't deploy this to production and say it's a day, okay? You need to do more things if you want to make it into production, right? And we are not going to cover that today. Like for now, if you are able to deploy this, good job, congratulations, you are done for the day. And you need to, like, maybe Avi can kind of show you how you can actually upload the final screenshot and things like that.
Yes. So before we move on to what to submit for results for this particular session, show of thumbs only if you were able to successfully deploy in Cloud Run and get the image link uploaded and tested. Okay. Those who have not completed, don't worry, the recording would be made available in the session details page, and also you will get email from the RSVP site first thing tomorrow, along with the YouTube link where the recording will be uploaded, and the code lab link and the credits link if you've already used it up. Okay. And what you need to submit for this particular session, I'll just tell you in a second. So it is also listed there in Code Vipassana site. If you go to June 6th, that is today's session, expand the session detail, you should see the result submission section. There is a link which has the app where you'll submit the result. And for this particular session, Thu Ya, if you can open the code lab and go to step 7.
Step 7.
Yeah, step 7.
Okay.
Yes, that one. The if you see in Thu Ya's screen that's shared right now, step 7 in the code lab, which is actually step 5 internally, it says deploy the web application. So that particular screenshot that you see right there, under deploy the web application section below, in the bottom of that page, right, what we are showing, so that should be your result from whatever you have created, right? So that is how your result should look, and this is what you'll submit for this particular session. All right. So season 6 session 3 step 7, and the bottom of step 7, which is deploy the web application section. So that is what you need to submit. Let me just ping you the result submission link. If you don't already have it from the website, here you go. This is the link for the app. This is where you submit the result for this particular session. So yeah, that's about it. Over to you, Thu Ya, if you want to cover anything. And don't worry if you have not completed any of these steps, you can always follow the recording. Everybody.
Yes. So right. Okay.
The
So for
deployment step, once can you repeat it from Cloud Shell terminal commands, Thu Ya? So just in case the two steps,
sure.
some of
So
them are asking how to deploy. So
yeah, so okay, you forget about those steps already. This is what you see. You click open terminal. Okay, so this is what you see, right? You go to your folder, right? So I'm going to clear this. So we are in draw website folder, right? So if you go to the steps of deployment, we wrote here, say you need to set your project, right? So I'm going to set my project. So make sure you replace the project ID. You can't copy the whole thing, okay? You replace this part, okay? So just copy this. I'm going to type in to this, right? And of course, I need my project ID. So my project ID is Thu Ya Playground. Yours is different, right? Yours not Thu Ya Playground, okay? Yours is different. Go and find here. Click on this, IDs here, okay? Copy this, put it here. Remember, you need to put gcloud config set project, enter, right? It will set the project, okay? If you see this, no error, good. You can proceed on the next step, right? So we already put this. Then what we need to do is do gcloud run deploy source dot. We will do that here. It will say, okay, what's your service name? If you want to name it, name it. Don't want to name it, leave it blank, enter, right? And then it will actually tell me something like which, so it will say, okay, which region you want to deploy, right? We are in Asia, so you probably in Asia East. You can try to choose Asia East 1, East 2, Southeast Asia 1, whichever, right? Like if you want US, you can actually choose US Central 1 or US West or whatever, right? I'm going to choose 32, enter. Right, so there you go. I'm going to US Central 1, and then deploying source require artifact registry, whatever. It's okay. You will just say, you want to continue? Yes. Okay. It start building, uploading, and then it will create the endpoint. For some reason, it's failed. It may be because you forgot to enable some APIs. Right, it actually say you have the artifact registry, Docker repository, and everything has to be there. Somehow it's not there. You just have to repeat the steps and so on, right? So just now it's deploying. Right, this step is a little bit more complicated than the step I showed just now. And for some reason, you cannot do it from the step before. Do this one, right? This is how you work. It was just building, deploying, and then it would take like 1 or 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes max. Okay, so I hope that's kind of like give you some ways that you can deploy things, I guess. Yeah, so no such file error means you don't have, or you didn't name your project draw a website, right? So easier way is to find out what you name your project, or you can just I don't have, I'm deploying, so I can't go. But because you probably didn't name your project drawer website, you probably named something else.
And I'm unable to type for some reason. I saw Roshit's question about what is the lab code or user code. So if this is the first time you're submitting a result for a Code Vipassana session, click sign up instead of sign in so that you can actually provide your own lab code. Is something, it's a unique credential that you create for yourself, because we don't want to store your email or your PII or do anything with that of that sort. We have just kept it generic, so you can just use any random lab code, but make sure it's unique. Only if it's unique, it'll accept it. And it has some standards and guidelines. Just go with that as you type it, and when you submit it, you'll know whether it's complying with the standards or not. And then it will create it and continue to use that as you move along the submissions for the season. You can use the same. You should use the same lab code for all the session submission. Yeah, it is your personal code. What other question? Yeah, you can use IDX also if you want to try it out, but we have not done that in the session, so you won't have the recording for that. And the code lab also does not support. I mean, it's not written to support IDX. It is done in Cloud Shell Editor. So yeah, you should be able to deploy at this point. And since we are at time, a lot of you have already deployed. Some of you are deploying right now. And if none of the deployment methods work for you, or for some reason you're getting errors, revisit the steps in the earlier stages of the code lab, which is the prerequisites, where you enable APIs, where you make sure you change the project ID in the respective app.py file, and then you change the requirements.txt dependencies. You change the version of Python in Docker file. So make sure all of these things are changed. And also, Thu Ya, if you can open the error logging or monitoring page, that is where you can find what errors your Cloud Run deployment is encountering, right? So there is a link there which says logs are available at. You can use that to see the build error. But in Thu Ya's case, build is successful, so you won't see any error. But if you want to see any build error, that is where you go. For some folks, if you haven't enabled Cloud Build API, it will ask you to enable. Go ahead and enable that as well. So build errors, the link will be available in the log itself. You can go and see what error there is. For runtime errors, which you cannot identify, meaning the application will be deployed, but then it won't be working as expected, and you will get runtime errors. For those, you have to go to logs or logging in Google Cloud Console, and you would be able to see the most recent error from there. Right, so that's about it. I hope you'll be able to resolve issues and then work on these things. Work on the resolving the issues if you have any build error, and if you have runtime error, just you will get all the common gotchas that some of the folks today have encountered in email as well, so you can fix it for yourself. And this recording will be available. All right. So thanks everyone. Thu Ya, thank you so much for joining so late in your night. I know it's what, 12? It's midnight for you?
Yep, 12
Yes.
plus.
Thank you so much, Thu Ya. I really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for joining. You will get the recording. And thank you, Code Vipassana leads. Without you, we cannot get past all the questions and the discussions we happen to have in the chat here and also in Discord channel. So thank you so much for that. And thanks everyone. Looking forward to having your submissions and looking forward to seeing you all in the next session, which is on Monday. This time we have very short gap because I'm hoping a lot of you submitted the session's results already. And this did not involve database, so we should be able to quickly complete this and be ready for the next session. All right, see you all. Have a good night. Recording will be sent to you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Thu Ya.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.